Hi guys, Lindsay here with Storybook Family Farm. So yesterday officially made it so it was 5 months since we've bought this place. Well, since we've closed on it. And it's kind of wild. Like it really, like I know I say that in like every like big major update video, but like so much stuff has happened and has changed and has shifted that it's incredible and stuff. Like it's mind blowing and stuff, and mind boggling too that like we just keep going. Like it's kind of crazy. But so I want to show you what we've gotten done most recently. I am standing in the front yard, so there's our fixer-upper right there. But so I've been working on, because this has been like the long-term goal of doing the front yard, is doing all of these T-posts here. I also have like kettle panel type of fencing. It's not actual panels, it's just a big huge roll of fencing that my grandpa gave to me. Well, he didn't give to me, he was already dead, but it came from his farm, so essentially it came from grandpa. But so it's really strong, heavy duty gauge fencing. It's extremely difficult to cut. But anyways, so I use this as a trellis for grapes to go on. So there is at every other section of T-post area, like over here, it's blank. Over here, there is a type of grape growing, and there's a slug. But this property has so many slugs. It's kind of ridiculous. That is the biggest like garden pest that we have right now is slugs. Like they're insane. But so when we first got this place, we had actually bought a whole bunch of like different grapes and things like that came from like Walmart, Sam's Club, you know, that sort of a thing, where it's like $5.99 for a thing of grapes, like for like a bare root plant type of thing. And that's a great way to get a grape arbor started. They also usually have like for like 13 something some bare root fruit trees, and you know, whether you get them from like Tractor Supply or Walmart or wherever you shop, that is a really nice way to break into growing some of your own food and doing a perennial garden. They always say the best time to plant a fruit tree was 20 years ago, but so since you can't time travel, you might as well do it today. That's kind of like our philosophy with all of this, is to just, because we're planning on staying here for a long time, you know, unless if some other crazy thing happens, like, I don't know, along this journey that we've been on, we've realized that we are most definitely not in control, and that whatever's meant for us will always be for us, even if we're kind of like, I don't want to do that. Like, it's how it works. So, you know, we're planning on staying here and growing here for forever, but, you know, the divine might have something different in store for us. We don't really know, but at our current state, we're going to do exactly what we did in town and plant like we're never going to leave it. So that's kind of our philosophy. So I have a whole bunch of different grapes planted along the fence here, and just look at this view. I mean, this is what we wake up to every day. You know, grant this is the evening time when I'm filming this, but this is how vast the field is that's across the street. It is just like, the camera can't even do it justice, because like as far as your eye can see, basically you can just look out without seeing any sort of housing. Like I absolutely love this area of our yard, especially like to sit out on the front porch. It's really nice. But so I have a bunch of grapes planted down this way now, and then we also have gotten, these are different, well, you can't really hardly see them. So in line here there are 3 different cherries, and then there's one back behind the camera. Those are different bush cherries that we have. They're like a sweet cherry. So we have 2 that are the Nanking cherries, and 2 that when we bought them when we still lived in town, they were called sugar sweet cherries. So, you know, eventually they'll start fruiting. Some of the sugar sweet cherries that are a year older, they actually flowered this year while they were just like in pots and stuff. But they didn't make any fruit because it was such crazy living conditions of just, you know, living in a pot. But I'm at the end of the row here. I'm almost to the driveway. So there's a lot of T-posts here. Actually, about 5 T-posts down that way. If you've seen my head injury video, yeah, that was the T-post that I was like pounding using the T-post driver to pound the T-post in, and the driver bashed me in the head and busted my head wide open. So yeah, this week I finally got to finishing doing all of them T-posts, and I actually, back up, a couple weeks ago, I did replace our mailbox because it was originally across the street there, and it was like falling over and in terrible shape and stuff. It was just one of them ugly plastic green mailboxes. So I did replace that, put in a nice 4x4 post. So then that way our mail people don't have to keep complaining that the mailbox is like half falling over. And I think that our mail person was doing it kind of out of spite, that she kept, because in green mailboxes they have the door on the back side too, so she kept like shoving everything through the whole entire way, and so it was like our mail was like in the field. So that was kind of frustrating, but definitely made me set that as a priority to get the mailbox done. And then Willie, one day when he was backing up, I have no idea, new driver, don't know, somehow ran the back of his car into the mailbox, knocked it over, so then it forced my hand. But so not only did I do that side of the driveway, I also did the same thing on this side of the driveway here. So it's just the same thing. There's a couple grapes, and then they're in line with the original grape arbors that were here. And there's one there as well. So there is going to be a lot of grapes here. Tracy and I, we really enjoy making wine. We also enjoy eating grapes. So kind of makes sense to have some grapes. And plus, grapes are really stinking pretty. But can you guys just imagine, like just this whole entire line, and then you go past the driveway, the whole entire line over there being completely covered with grapes, and then having flowers growing along the fence and stuff. Like that's our long-term vision for this place, is just beauty everywhere that you turn, is to have a lot of like natural beauty and stuff, and a lot of food production. That's essentially what we did when we lived in town. Like, we didn't like living in town, so we tried to use like berry bushes and fruit trees and grapes and different things of that sort to bring the country to town and stuff. So like all of our property lines, we had them lined with like berry bushes and things of that nature to not only maximize our production that we could do on our small plot of land, but also to create more privacy and more wildlife habitat and stuff. Like, we had so many songbirds in our yard. Like, it was absolutely incredible. But so the other thing that I've done recently is, this was actually yesterday in the heat of the day. Yesterday was so stinking hot. Like, I meant to film this video yesterday, but we felt like we were going to die. Like, the real feel was in like 95, 96 and stuff. It was so stinking humid, and it was miserable. So I did plant this elderberry here, was already here when we moved here. And then some of these bigger ones were already here as well. But I did have some small ones that I moved here with us and stuff. So this one here is new, that one over there is new, and then there's some more. So I created a nice little block type of grid with like a walkway in between that then we can come through in the middle and pick. I do know that elderberries will eventually take over this area, and I'm totally cool with just like battling the snakes and wearing long pants and long boots to pick the berries and stuff. This is a really good location for elderberries, because elderberries like a really wet area, and this area here, because of the ditch and everything, it's pretty wet all the time, and so you're kind of limited on what can grow over in here. But so yesterday I also pruned up some of this maple tree here, because it was all the way down to the ground. So I'm going to make some tree hay with all of this debris. I have a lot more to prune off, but it was in the late afternoon, and the honeybees were super duper angry that I was destroying a tree by them. So they kept trying to like come at me and smack me, and really just sending a warning saying, hey, leave this tree alone, you're too close to our nest. Because right over there was the tree, right over here is the honeybees. So, but I can walk right past them and not have any issues, but by golly, come through and try to prune a tree with some loppers, and makes them super angry. But so all of our flowers in here are doing really well. I know it's really disappointing, because it's hard to pick it up on camera just how many flowers that we have growing in the garden. Like, the camera does not do it justice at all. So it's really sad for me, because there's so many flowers here. Like, it's insanity. I'll probably upload pictures onto our Facebook page of just some of the flowers that we have in bloom right now, and some of the beauty that they have. So the other things that we've gotten done since our last monthly update video is we've gotten a lot more firewood split, and we also got another one of these Shelter Logic shed things. Tracy and Willie put it together yesterday. So then that way we have more space to store firewood. So we have some pallets right in here. This shed is a 20-foot long, 10-foot wide, 20-foot long shed. So we're going to store a lot of our firewood in here. It was like on a super duper sale at Menards. So definitely a worthwhile purchase. But so we're going to put firewood in here for this year and firewood for next year. Because when our neighbor had the property behind us, back that way, logged, if you know anything about logging and timbering, they leave a massive amount of stuff behind. And I reached out to him and I was like, hey, like our goats really love to eat like broken down tree branches with leaves on and stuff. I'm like, can we harvest some? And he's like, yeah, if you guys want some stuff for firewood, just go ahead and take it. So we got some of next year's firewood definitely taken care of. And here's Tracy. She just got done locking all the birds up. Oh, yeah, the turkeys. That's the other thing we got done yesterday. Yesterday, for it being so stinking hot, like we got so much stuff done.
We're idiots. We work outside when it's 90 degrees, not when it's 70.
I drank probably at least 2 gallons of water yesterday.
I probably sweated out 2 gallons of water.
Yeah, so we're feeling like ultra thin and super, super like fit and all that stuff.
It was like we detoxed.
Yeah, we detoxed and basically lost a ton of water weight. So the other thing that we did was, and this was out of necessity, we were not planning on doing this yesterday. We were actually planning on doing this like next week and stuff, but different turkeys got really irritated with how hot it was and how small their area was. So we had no choice but to expand it. So now the turkeys did have like a decent sized dog kennel type thing, that was never our end goal, was to keep them in there. It was too small for this amount of birds to stay in. But so now they have this whole big walkway, and it looks tiny, but from this fence here to that dog kennel over there, it's actually about 10 feet and stuff, and it's what, 15 feet wide?
It is, from that dog kennel to this corner is about 12 feet. It's 15 feet that way, and then about 10 from the corner up.
Yeah, so it's essentially like an 11 by 15 area that we fenced in here that has the grass and all that stuff. But then there's also that other dog kennel there that they have full access to. And then that dog kennel there was their original paddock, and that was, I think, like 8 by 15 or something. But they were having so much trouble. They were fighting, they were getting mad and stuff yesterday because it was so hot. So we were like, yeah, this is bumped up to the highest level of priority right now because somebody's going to kill somebody else. Because like the two toms kept fighting, and then 2 of the hens kept fighting as well. So it wasn't just like a dominancy thing. And then we got, that's tomfoolery over here. And then Turkey Lurkey is up on that gate right there and stuff. So they do not stay out like this. We will have to, once we're done filming, walk them all back in to their cage. I did it yesterday and it went really, really well, which really surprised me. So we have had... Huh?
He won't get off the gate.
Well, last night I had to lift him up off the gate.
I'm not tall enough to do that.
See, that's short people problems right there. I'm only a couple inches taller than Tracy, but my arms are ridiculously long thanks to Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So every time that it's a tall person job, here, you want to hold that? Yeah, that's good. Every time that it's a tall person job, it gets elected to be my job.
Yeah, I can't grab him like that from up there.
Come on, big guy.
Good luck.
Wrong way. Here, I'll get him. Well, I got him down for you.
Here, buddy.
When I did it last night, he was turned the other way, so it was much, much simpler. And now I got hens coming towards me like, are you going to pick me up? Are you going to put me inside? They don't understand that they're still technically inside. You just going to toss him over the fence? Or you want me to open the gate?
Just open the gate. It'll be easier. It's really hard to toss him over the fence. He's a little heavier.
Yeah. Yeah, so these guys are I would say probably 2/3 full grown. So they are about, their shoulder width or their shoulder height is actually about knee high. So that's one on display, and then the other one that's walking away right now over there, that's not on display. So these guys, they're full size. I do believe it's their hanging weight. Don't quote me on that because I have not had time to like super duper Google it. and stuff. I do believe their hanging weight for the males is like 13 pounds, and the hanging weight for the females is, ooh, I felt the breeze off of that. That was kind of nice. The hanging weight for a female is like 8 to 10 pounds. So they're really a good turkey breed. They're the midget whites. They are a heritage breed. So they are actually a really good turkey breed for a small homestead or a small family to raise. We do enjoy turkey meat, but we're not like super crazy turkey eaters that want to eat a 50-pound turkey. I don't know who is. Definitely not us. But do you need help locking them up?
Come on, buddy. Relax.
I don't know if you guys will be able to hear the sounds of the turkeys. I'll walk in there with you. So that way you guys might be able to hear them. They sound like Space Invaders. When you're walking them in and stuff, they sound almost like Space Invaders. They make these weird, funny noises.
Come on, turkey lurkey.
So that went pretty good. Well, locking them up's easier than locking the chickens up.
The chickens, we just wait till they all go to bed.
Yeah, but I'm saying if we have to make them go to bed early.
Oh yeah, that's a fight.
Yeah. But so the other things that we've been working on really hard on is also our business. Today we did have another meeting with Fresh Time to help us do all of the paperwork, because the paperwork does not make a lick of sense to us. Even the guy that was in charge of doing it was like, I should probably look this up, because it doesn't make much sense. It's very complicated. So in this past week, we have officially Storybrooke Family Farm, for like the baking aspect and all that stuff, and the farmers market aspect, has officially become an LLC. We also have gotten like all of the legal stuff taken care of, and we also have made it so we have a business bank account, which we hadn't had previously, but it was recommended to us by multiple people that before we started selling our bread at Fresh Time that we probably should do all these like legit things. So now we are like super official, legitimate business owner women and stuff. So it's kind of funny because we've been doing this for a while. Something must have just jumped on the clothesline. Oh, a bird did. I seen the clothesline, and it's way, way, way over there. It just started like bouncing like crazy. I was like, what in the heck? But so it seems kind of funny because like on paper, you know, this business just started, but yet we've been doing this for over a year now. So it's kind of comical. But other things moving forward that we're going to continue working on is, oh, the exciting thing. I forgot about that. So last night, for those of you that don't know, our house needs a new roof. Pretty stinking bad. It could be worse, but it could be a lot better, obviously. So our bedroom ceiling has had a dip in it, kind of on Tracy's side of the bed, but we've moved the bed so it's not centered in our room, but so that way it's not underneath the part of the ceiling that is like swooping down. So that way, you know, she don't wake up to plaster on her mouth. Kind of important.
Yeah.
So yesterday while we were working on all this massive amount of stuff outside, apparently it was an act of God that it happened then. But so I went up last night to open up the window and stuff because we don't have air conditioning here because most of it's shaded, so it's kind of nice. And so I went upstairs to open the windows, and I was like, what the heck? It's all over the floor. Well, part of the plaster stuff, it's not the actual plaster because it's been replaced with drywall and stuff. The house does not have plaster in it anymore. It's been, somebody at some point replaced it with drywall and stuff. Wasn't us. But it had like the texturized ceiling and stuff. So big chunks of the texturized ceiling, probably like a 2 foot by 3 foot square area, fell down onto the ground and stuff. And since then we've been like, man, I really hope that the roofer guy calls us back as to when he's going to start the roof and stuff. We kept saying that we wish that would happen, and we wish that would happen and stuff. And then earlier today,
When we were on our way back from Fresh Time.
no, earlier today, another section of that roof fell down again and stuff of the ceiling. And I was like, man, I really do not want the rest of this to get wet again. I don't want it to keep falling because it already needs replaced, but it's kind of sketchy when you have stuff that's like trying to fall down on you while you're sleeping. So it was definitely an act of God that it happened while we were not in our room, while we were not trying to sleep, because I'm pretty sure that both of us would have had heart attacks and this would have been the end of our whole journey and stuff, because we'd have just lost our minds. Like, we'd have got so scared and stuff. But so on the way home from our meeting with Fresh Time today, we were like a mile and a half from home and stuff. The roofer guy calls, And he's like, I know this is short notice, but can I start tomorrow? And we're like,
Yep.
absolutely. Because our porch roof, that's what he's going to start on tomorrow, because it is calling for rain in the next few days and stuff. He's going to start on the porch roof, because if we don't have a porch roof for a few days, it's not a big deal and stuff. But our porch roof has been falling the entire time that we've owned this place. Like, when we first got this place, it was still like fully attached to the house. About a month or so after we moved in, I was like looking up and I'm like, something don't look right. Something really don't look right. So I got down off of the porch and I was looking at it and I was like, huh, it looks like it's dropped like 2 inches or so. I'm like, that's weird. I'm like, I'll tell Tracy about it when she gets home from work to see if she thinks it's dropped too. Forgot about it like the next day later. Ooh, we gotta spray that yellow jacket nest too that I found. It's over by the first grape arbor, the new grape arbor that I showed you guys. Yeah, I found that when we were working on putting that fencing up.
Yeah, so like 2 days ago, I keep forgetting when it gets nighttime.
Yeah, but anyways, so a couple days later, I remembered about telling her about the porch roof falling and stuff. And we looked at it again, and by golly, wouldn't you know, it had fallen like another 6 inches since I had first noticed it.
We currently have a 4x4 post propped holding that corner of the roof up.
Yep. Our house only has one way in and one way out, and that porch roof is blocking the one way in and one way out. Yep. If it were to fall, it would fall probably on top of like a Amazon delivery driver's noggin or something. But we didn't want that to happen, so I did have, and it's like totally an act of God, okay? I had a 4x4 that was the exact length that was needed to just wedge in there so it wouldn't fall. It's crazy. Like along our journey, and that's what I was saying earlier about how like we've realized that we're not in control. Like along our journey, it's crazy. Like how we found out about this roofer guy, okay? Her uncle normally does hay for us and makes hay for us, and we buy it from him, and that's our hay supplier. He had run out and stuff, so we were forced to find another hay person. Turns out the other hay person just lives a couple miles down the road and stuff, and we have like weird connections to them, like, you know, like we've known them through this person or through that person, but we never met them really. We didn't like know them and stuff. The first time I went to pick up hay from them, when we went, was when I still had staples in my head actually, and I was like, do you by chance know of anybody that can do a roof? And they're like, absolutely, here's this guy's number, he's done a ton of work for us, you know, he's a great guy. There's a bat flying around up there.
As long as it stays up there.
Yeah, you're not a bug.
I don't know if the birds will eat it.
Oh yeah, the turkeys probably would.
Yeah.
But so she gave us his contact information. That's, you know, he came in way lower on the quotes than anybody else did and stuff. Ooh, now there's 2 bats. But so he came in way lower on the quotes than anybody else did.
And he's doing more work than
everybody else.
Yeah.
Like when we originally had that porch roof looked at, different roofers had told us, different companies had told us that it'd be like $5 to $6 grand, and he's charging less than $3. So, and that's to tear it down, rebuild it, replace it, all that stuff.
And his quote of doing the roof was less than everybody else's, and he's taking our outside chimney that needs taken down all the way to the ground, taking the inner one that we don't need anymore down below the roof.
I'll spin so you guys can see the house.
So that they can just cover it over with wood, and then it makes the shingling easier. You don't have to seal around the chimney. It won't leak there.
Yeah, it just makes everything more simpler.
Plus, he's fixing all of our soffit and fascia that needs fixed and replacing our gutters, and his quote was still less than anybody just to do the roof.
Yeah. So, clearly, we went with the Amish guy that's doing all of this for way better and way cheaper of a price. And I had been wondering if they were coming soon, because, what was that, like 3 days ago when I was messing with the bees? Yeah, it was Sunday, because I made the joke about being a Sunday drive. I had seen an Amish guy, his wife, and like their 2 little kids or whatever. They were like on a buggy trotting down our road, and the whole time we've lived here, I've not seen any Amish come down our road and stuff. And they literally they went down to the end of the road, turned around, and came back. And while they were going past our house, they were like hardcore, like turned, looking, watching, waving at me as I'm, you know, in my full bee suit and stuff. So I had wondered if maybe he was like a worker of the other guy and was coming to like see how far of a buggy ride it would be to get to work and stuff. But so we're really excited to have an actual, we'll start walking on the bugs. I'm getting bit up.
Yeah.
We're really super excited to have the actual roof like being worked on, because that was our whole big thing with selling the camper, was to put a new roof on the house and stuff. So we've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for his call of, I'm going to start soon and stuff. So we're super excited because that is holding up a lot of other projects and stuff. Like our house really needs power washed and stuff. Like it is really yucky. It's missing a whole bunch of pieces, parts of like the fascia and the soffit and all of that stuff. Don't mind our mess. We've been moving stuff off of the porch so that way it doesn't get destroyed. But here is said 4x4 right there, holding up the roof. As you can see up higher, there's a black line. That's where the roof originally was. And over there, it's like really jacked and stuff. I try not to show this part of the house because it looks really bad. Like the curb appeal is not the house and stuff. So there is up boop, 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 right there, there's missing stuff on the roof. And then up right above my finger, there is, you can't tell from this angle and stuff with the camera, but it is actually
the fascia board is falling down.
Yeah, the fascia board's hanging down by like a foot and stuff. So it's not a pretty picture and stuff. You know, this scariness of a picture is actually, I'm sure, one of the biggest things that has helped us get this house for as cheap as we got it and stuff. And there was some really overgrown bushes that were, you know, up in here. And I am planning on, once the porch roof, and that's what I was saying, that the porch roof has things really, and the roof in general has things really put behind, because I'm planning on, once the porch roof gets taken down and stuff and replaced, all of this railing here is in terrible shape. So I'm going to rip it all down and then replace it. But since I know that that roof is all coming down, I didn't want to take off the railing and build something really nice and then it just get destroyed. Yeah. So a lot of different like curb appeal type stuff and niceties of the house and the property and stuff have been completely put on hold, because like we have flowers and stuff to put in the flower beds that's, you know, over there, but that's the chimney that's getting removed. And up above it, obviously, is the roof and the gutters and the soffit and the fascia that all has to be replaced. So we have a bunch of flowers and beautiful things that are just waiting to be put in the flower beds and stuff. There's a lot of things that are just waiting for us to have time, to have attention to give to them. And some of the stuff, it's not crucial and stuff to do. It's not crucial for living here. It's not crucial for any aspect of it. Like the inside of our house, it's clean, but we have boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff that have not been put away because our highest priority has been doing our dream and doing the homestead and growing the business and stuff. So it's been a very chaotic last 5 months that we feel like we've not stopped running the entire time. Like it's been kind of crazy and stuff, but we're losing a lot of daylight. So I will end this basically where I started it, with the view. So we cannot get enough of this fantastic view. They do have soybeans planted across the street there, but it is just, it's incredible. So I'll move my head so you guys can take a look at that. That is one of the biggest things that helped us fall in love with this place, is there's not a neighbor in sight. There's just, we can see cows up on that hill. A lot of times there's cows and stuff. So it has definitely been a really big miracle and a really big blessing for us to get to where we're at and to have what we have. And we are just immensely grateful. And if you stuck around for this entire update video, we are very grateful that you are here. We greatly appreciate you, because sometimes I know that I can be a little long-winded, but we've had so many things that we've done and stuff that it's really hard to just document every single little thing that we're doing and stuff. So it's also nice too for our records to, you know, show what everything looks like, because, you know, after next week, the front of the house isn't going to look anything like this anymore. Like, and I'm really excited, because when people pull up and they're like, oh, this is your house. Like when we had people coming to give quotes for the roof, and I'm like, yeah, we just bought it. Like none of these trash piles are ours. Like,
it's nice when they say we've seen worse though.
Yeah. Because like the inside of the house, ooh, the light just kicked on. That's nice. We have much better lighting now. And stuff. The inside of the house, it was completely empty. There wasn't trash in there. So it's just like our stuff, our boxes of books and our boxes of things and, you know, tools and that sort of a thing.
Unfortunately, outside there was a lot of trash.
Yeah, and that's what everybody sees first. So it's like we don't even want company to come over because of how derelict the house looks and how in need of attention it looks, because you see the porch first, like that's right on the front of the house, and you're like, is it even safe to step foot in? There's a reason that God lined it up that we looked at the house in the dark with flashlights.
Because we would have been like, no.
You would have been like,
Yeah,
no.
she was ready to jump on anything. I was a little more hesitant.
Well, we drove by it in the daylight, when it first went on the market.
Yeah, and I told you I wouldn't even put an offer in until I seen what it was like inside, because the outside was pretty bad.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not scared, it's fine. This is where we're moving to. And she's like, I don't think so. And I'm like, I think so. I really think so. And clearly I was right. But, yeah, kind of like how I knew I would marry you before I even started dating you.
Yeah.
I knew it. I could just feel it. I could sense it. I knew. And here we are, happily married, almost 10 years of marriage together. So clearly I was right. And now it's set on camera that I was right. So you'll have to, as YouTube as my witness, I was right. At least twice in my life. But, yeah, so we're definitely losing daylight, and the light is a motion sensor, and Tracy hasn't waved her other arm around and stuff to kick it back on. So we're going to let you guys go, and thank you for watching our video. Sorry it's so long, but it is what it is. All right, if you guys haven't already, please subscribe to our channel to help us grow. We greatly enjoy filming and showing you guys everything that's been going on, even when it's, very dark and long-winded ones like this one was. And, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. I'm telling you again, because there's a lot of people that keep watching our videos and have not subscribed, and it really, really, really helps us out when there's more people that subscribe. Also, like the videos too, because that also helps the algorithm, so that way more people can find us and see the videos and that sort of a thing. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.